let's continue with example 7. So we have John. He's the vice president of this Golden Sun Enterprises, and he earns $1,118,300 annually, or $2,275 per week. Find the amount of Social Security and Medicare taxes that should be withheld for the 49th week. So first of all, we have to think about, what does he make for the 49th week? Well, if he makes $2,275 a week, so $2,275 a week, what is he making that year on the 49th week? We multiply them. What do we get? $111,475. Now, what does he make at the 48th week? We're going to use this to figure out if he falls underneath the 110,100. So let's start to look at the 48th week. So on the 48th week, he makes $109,200. What is the difference here between that cap? Well, the cap, remember, was 110,100. Subtract that 109,200,000, so right there, that says $900. What does that mean? Since Medicare is paid on the entire salary, John must pay the Medicare tax on all full weeks. But the $900, it says, is at the end of the 49th week, John will have earned a total gross salary of $111,475. The year-to-date earning on the 48th week was $109,200. Since Social Security tax is withheld on the first $110,100 annually, he only needs to pay Social Security tax on the $900. So the 900 is what we're multiplying by the 0.042. That's $37.80. That's his Social Security tax. Medicare is always paid on his entire salary, so his weekly salary is $2,275. Take your Medicare rate and find his Medicare to be $32.99. So a little confusing here, but this is because he makes over the cap, because this is the cap. This is $110,100. He makes $118,300. So we must find out his rate on what is left, which is only $900. Okay, here's some stop and checks. Go ahead and pause the video. Try the stop and checks. These are not on the forms, so when you're done with them, come back and I will talk you through all of these stop and checks, because I think this topic's a little confusing. Okay, let's go over the stop and checks. You have Lars. He makes a bi-weekly of $1,730. How much Social Security and Medicare? Remember, we always start by saying, does he make over that cap of $110,100? To find that out, we take his bi-weekly salary, which means how many times he gets paid a year is 26. Multiply the two to come up with the $44,980. Since he is way below that cap, everything is going to be taxed. So this is the most simple it can get. You take Social Security, take his bi-weekly salary, and multiply it by the Social Security rate, and get $72.66. Then we do Medicare, the entire rate again, multiplied by the Medicare tax rate, and get $90.34. So that is as simple as it can get when they're underneath that $110,100 cap. Now, here's someone that's making $112,200 or $4,675 semi-monthly. How much Social Security and Medicare tax will be held from her 24th paycheck of the year? So, let's look at this and let's think about this. First of all, we see that she is capped a little bit because of her $112,000. Let's start by looking at the 23rd pay period, because you always go one back from what they're asking. So, because they say the 24th. So if we think about the 23rd pay period, well, that's 23 times 4,675. What does that give us? 107,525. Take your cap of 110, 100, subtract your 107,525, end up with 2,575. That is all that Social Security is allowed to tax her on. So now for Social Security, you're going to take that 2,575 and multiply it by the 0.042 and get $108.15. Medicare is always on the full paycheck. There's no cap, so you take her 4,675 by your Medicare tax rate and get $67.79. And then it looks like we have the same question twice, which is interesting. So I guess we're just going to skip this one. I'll have to fix that. And move on to Lewis, who makes $112,000 annually and $2,156 per week. And what is going to be paid on the 47th week. So we go one back. Let's start off with the 46th week. How much are they making? So you do the math and you have 99,176. Again, take your 1,010, 100, subtract the 99,176, and this is the earnings subject to Social Security. So earnings subject to Social Security tax. That means all earnings in the Social Security are subject to tax, so you are going to take the full tax rate times their paycheck and get 90.55, and Medicare never changes. You take the full times the Medicare tax rate and get 31.26. Okay, let's keep moving. Last thing that someone can ask you to do is find the gross pay. That means you need to find deductions, you need to find Social Security Medicare tax, you need to find the federal withholding tax, and do all of it together to actually find out what is this person coming home with in their paycheck. So this is what happens to all of you that work, and you see that, oh, this is my net, and then here's my gross. How did they come up with both of these? That's what we're going to do right here. So we're going to actually find, and it says right here, find net. That means what is she coming home with? So let's start off with, what does she make? She makes $976. So we're going to write that over here. $976 is her gross, and we are going to subtract, there's the bell. We are going to subtract all the withholding. So now we need to read this. First of all, she is married and claims 2 withholdings. Where did we find that from? That was in the very beginning of this lesson. You are going to go to figure 10-3, and you are going to find out how much is withheld. You must go to the married table, claims 2, and makes $976. So let's see if I can find that one here, if I have it or not. Married table claims 2. I don't see it on here. You guys have it in your table. So married claims 2, your tax withholding should be $84 if you use your table. Let's do our Social Security. Well, what was the rate? 976 times, should have it memorized, 0.042. That means my Social Security is $40.99. Let's move on to Medicare. Medicare is 0.0145. How much Medicare comes out? $14.15. But it also says that she has a non-exempt retirement fund of $25.83. Oh, 5% of her gross earnings is deducted for a retirement fund, and $25.83 is deducted for non-exempt insurance. So let's start with the retirement. 5% of her gross earnings goes to the retirement. So that's $48.80. We also have that insurance. No calculation here. It's just $25.83 is deducted. We have now found all of her deductions right here. Add them all up. Come up with $213.77. So this is, right here if you want to label it, total deductions. This goes over here to be subtracted from her gross pay to find out what her net pay is, what she's going home with. And there it is. That is all the math that is required to find net pay. This is what companies are doing for you when you work, and they're taking out all your withholdings to get your pay. Okay, go ahead, try the stop and check. It's the same kind of setup. Pause the video, try it, come back, I'll walk you through it. So we have Alina. She earns $1,032 weekly. She's married, claims 3. So I know I need to go to my figure and find out her withholdings at some point. She has $110.05 deducted for insurance. She takes 6% of her gross to retirement. Find the amount deducted for retirement and Social Security and Medicare. That's all they want me to do this time. So they want me to start off with retirement. 6% of her gross. Do the same thing we did up above. 6% of her gross. What does that give me? $61.92. And then it says find Social Security. Well, we know the rate for Social Security is 0.042 times her pay, which gives me $43.34. Also in this question, they want me to find the Medicare. We know the rate is 0.0145 times her pay, which gives you $14.96. Find the amount of withholding tax. This is when we're going to figure 10.3. We are trying to find someone that makes $1,032, so you need to find the row that says at least $1,030, but less than $1,040. And she's claiming 3, so I have to go across the row 3 down, and it should be $82. Now I can do all the total deductions. What does that include? Well, it includes her retirement, her Social Security, her Medicare, her withholding tax, and her insurance. So let's put them all down here. We'll start off from the very beginning of this page where we found retirement was $61.92. Social Security was $43.34. Medicare was $14.96. Withholdings was $82. Last but not least, her insurance, way up here, $110.05. Add them all up. How much is coming out of her paycheck? $312.37. So what is she actually bringing home? What is going in the bank? Well, she has a gross of $1,032. She has deductions of $312.37. I mean. So what is her net pay? What is she bringing home? $719.63. So that is lesson 10-2. A lot there. Go ahead, start the homework if you feel like it, but I will be back tomorrow to help you.